It's week 8, video 2, in which I talk about using p-vectors in your object-oriented code, JavaScript code. So let's get right down to it. I'm using just the basic, the thing that you found in basic underbar OOP on my website, just from the last video. I'll link it in here too, I think. And this is the most basic of all programs, right? And actually, so I have just one car here. I'm spawning one car, and here's where I'm moving it and displaying it, right? I'm going to change this car now. So if we look at this car, we have this. I'm just moving across the screen. It's probably got a velocity of 1, right? Yes, it does. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to add, instead of just a velocity going one direction, we're going to add a vector which has two directions, two components to it, an x and a y. So right now I have, each car has got its own x position, but I'm going to have an x position and a y position. I could do this. I'm in my class now, so every car that I spawn is going to have this, right? I could do this dot x pos, and make a this dot y position, but what I'm going to do instead is just have a position vector. It's going to be this dot pos now, and it's going to be a vector. So I'm going to use the word create vector. You guys can see it down there. It's showing up here. And now I've got to put an x and a y location because I'm going to use a two-dimensional vector. So I could put 100, 100 and have every car spawn from its position at 100, 100, but what would be cool? Well, yeah, I'm going to have it spawn at 100, 100, but you could have them all spawn at a random location, or even random width, random height, right? I'm not going to do that. I'll just have mine all spawn from one point because it looks kind of cool. Now, the move is going to be different. I used to have just one component, just an x vector, but now, since I've got pos here instead of just x pos, I can add, I'm also going to need a velocity vector. So let's make a velocity also. In the other movie, we had the velocity between, like a random number between 6 and 10. We'll have this dot vel, and again, we're going to have an x velocity and a y velocity. We're going to stick them in this convenient vector here. So this velocity, maybe we will make random. We'll make it between random -6 and +6. That'll be the x velocity. And we'll also make a y velocity between random -6 and +6. Now remember your vector math from CS 225, or no, that was anyway, maybe it was math 115, I can't remember, but do you remember your vector math? You don't need to. You just have to use the word add here. It's going to add it for you. It's because it's a computer. So we're going to add the velocity to the position. This dot pos dot add, and then this dot vel. That's all you got to do to add two vectors together in computer time. Yay. And then this display, we don't have x pos anymore. We have pos. So to get the x component out of this vector, you can put dot x. That's why I didn't want to use dot x before. And so to get the y component, you use that. Pretty cool, huh? I wonder if it's going to work. I actually don't know if it's going to work, so let's try it out. So this is called pvector underbar OOP. And let's see. Yep. Did you see it? See, it's going to go again. Oh, this time it's got a positive x and a positive y. This next time and they're all spawning at 100, 100, right? That time it had a negative x and a positive y. Let's see what happens this time. Ooh. Okay, so that's kind of exciting, right? Every car now has got an x where it can either go this way or this way. It can go this way or this way. And a y, same thing. It can go up or down. Very cool. Let's make 100 of these really fast instead of just having one car. I guess we can make 3. We'll make 3. You guys have the other video that shows you how to make this into an array. So I'll declare a couple more we'll have 3 cars. Var my car 1, var my car 2, and var my car 3. I'm copying and pasting these lines. When you can, copy and paste. And then my car move and display. I'll have to make 3 of these too. 1, 2, 3. Okay, my car 1, my car 2. And now I should have 3 cars. I don't have to mess with the class at all because I'm not changing the way the cars look. Yay. So look, they're all spawning from 100, 100 over there. Let's make them all spawn from the middle. So the middle of the screen is width over 2, height over 2, height over 2. That's cool, right? Well, where's the third one? All right, cool. So they're all spawning kind of from the middle of the screen. Their top left-hand corners are all spawning from the middle of the screen. It's kind of disconcerting. Awesome. So the only thing you guys need to know is they're going off the screen and they're never coming back because their widths, their X positions are going pew off the screen, and same with their Y positions. So we need to put that if statement that loops it around. Remember how we had that? So that is a little bit more difficult in this case because not only can, where am I again? Here, let me reenact this for you. Okay, here, let's say here's our piece of paper, right? Okay, so it's spawning here, and usually, hopefully this is the right direction. Yeah, usually it goes up past width, and then we set it equal to 0 again. It comes around here, wow, because it's got a positive velocity. But this time it could have a negative velocity. So think about this. If my X position, pos.x, gets greater than width, if it gets greater than width, I want to set it equal to 0. But if it's less than 0, I want to set it equal to width, right? So if it got less than 0, it went off the screen to the left. I hope it's going off to the left. I want to set it equal to 0 because it's got a negative velocity, negative X velocity. Same with this. If it's got greater than height, I want to set its Y position to 0 again, right? But if it's going up, it's going to be less than 0. If it got less than 0, I want to make it equal to height, so it keeps going less than 0. Remember, height is down here. This is height. Like if my height is 500, that's 500. This is 0. Okay? So let's see how that looks. This is where everybody makes a mistake, and then they think they can't code, and then they cry and they hide under the covers. So don't freak out if you make this mistake. And I want to zoom in, but I know I can't. So this position that added this velocity, what if it went off the screen? If this dot pos dot x, if the x got greater than width, we do that already, greater than width, then, I'm not even going to use curly brackets here. If it got greater than width, we want to set it equal to 0. 0. Cool. If it got less than width, because it's got a negative velocity, so if it's not less than width, if it got off the screen, it's 0. If it's less than 0, then we got to set it equal to width, right? Hopefully, I should make you guys repeat this with me, right? Now, if the Y position was greater than height, we want to set it equal to 0 again. So it starts at the top of the screen. This dot pos dot y equals 0. And if it went up, it's got a negative velocity. It's getting negativer and negativer and negativer. It's went past 0, less than 0. We want to set it equal to height again. Why am I going off the screen? Okay, so if this dot pos dot y is less than 0, then this dot pos dot y equals height. Whew. You guys can just copy this code, right? You kind of don't even have to write it. You can just copy it from my site. So let's see if that works now. They should loop around. Yay! Pew, pew! They're looping around all over the place. If we want to make 100 of these, remember how to do it? I'm not going to put it in the video because you don't need to watch that. To make 100 of these, instead of having my car 1, my car 2, you need the array. And you need the for loop to spawn them. And then you need the for loop to move and display them. Do you need to mess over here with any of this? No, not at all. If you want every one of these to have a different color, you got to add a color attribute. If you want them all to have a name or text on them, I'll show you guys really quickly how to make a name on them, right? Let's just change. They can all have their own name, like this dot name equals. I'm just going to write hello, like hello world. I could give them all like a Star Wars character name, but I'm just maybe I will. Chewie. All right, and then if I want to print out the name, text this dot name, and then I need an X and a Y position, right? Every car's got its position. And then to get the X component and the Y component, just put dot X and dot Y. This dot pos dot X and this dot pos dot Y. Okay? This is going to print out at the exact same top of it'll print out on top of the box. So I need to make it up a little from the box. So to make it up a little, I will do, it's drawing from the top hand corner, right? So I'll do this dot pos minus maybe 13 or 12 or something like that. Let's see if we get this to work. Adding a name to every car. We're adding Chewie. Yes, there's Chewie. All right. It's like I should make that brown and just have a lot of Chewbacca's flying around. That's it. That's your pvector video, and it's short. Yay.